Hi guys! Last year I took you to our garden and showed you around a little bit. Some of you know already that we have this kind of a city garden where we grow different kind of things, and last year I did already share some recipes with the goodies that I got from the garden. Also, I noticed one specific video which is getting a lot of attention, and I think it's because people are trying to look for recipes with Swiss chard and it's difficult to find anything with Swiss chard. So since I have some Swiss chard growing in the garden, I thought I would try to make more recipes for you so you have different kind of ideas for what you can use your beautiful Swiss chard and how you can prep it in a delicious way. And today's recipe is for a Swiss Chard Shakshuka, which is a great breakfast or a light dinner recipe. I hope you enjoy it. Always when I start with this recipe, I like to prep all my vegetables first, so then it's just gonna go really fast. So I'm gonna peel the onion first, and then you just want to finely slice it. You could also dice it, but I like the bigger onion pieces and it's also faster this way. Then I like to get a plate and just add all my prepped vegetables onto the plate. And then you also want to peel and slice the garlic. And then you want to prep the Swiss chard. I have some with some colorful stalks, but you can make this recipe with any Swiss chard. So first we just want to remove the stalks and leave the green parts on the side. So depending on how hard the stalk is, you want to remove it up until where it kind of gets softer. Then we just want to remove the ends and chop these. And I'm also gonna leave these aside on my prep plate. And then you want to grab the greens and just roughly chop the greens. Like this. Also gonna leave these aside. Then I also have my tomatoes. I'm using cherry tomatoes, but you can also use any other tomatoes. So if you're using regular tomatoes, you can use 2. And you just want to kind of chop them into smaller pieces, so you have these little pieces of tomatoes. And then we have the last bit of prep to do. This is something that's not a must, but I really like to add some greens on top. So I have some parsley here and also some dill. So just about 2 stalks. And I'm just gonna remove the hard ends and then just finely chop the herbs. And that's all with the prep. Now we can start with the cooking. And then I have a medium pan here over medium heat, and I'm just gonna add some olive oil to cover the bottom of my pan. And then I'm gonna add in the garlic and the onion. At this point we only want to add these two and give them some time to soften and start getting some color. So keep the heat medium and keep on mixing so that they're all evenly cooked through. And then once your onions are looking like this, so they have started to get some color, you can start adding the stalks of the Swiss chard and the tomatoes. So I'm gonna add in both. My heat is still medium. I'm just gonna shortly mix them in. And then you want to cover and cook covered for about 5 to 10 minutes until both the tomatoes and the Swiss chard stalks have started to soften. Then at the end of those 5 to 10 minutes, everything should be really soft, so the tomatoes should have softened, and you should be able to kind of mash them so that they've become kind of like a sauce for the rest of the ingredients. That's the time the stalks also need to start to soften. And now if you like some extra tomato flavor, then you can add in about a tablespoon of tomato paste. And then I also like to season with a little bit of salt and a little bit of freshly ground black pepper, and some dried thyme, just about a pinch of dried thyme. Also, the seasoning is optional, so you can leave some of it out, or you can add in some other things that you like. So just mixing in the tomato paste and the seasoning, and then we want to add in the leaves, the Swiss chard leaves, and we shortly want to mix them in. You want to keep the heat on medium and again cover it up and give it another 5 minutes. Then after those 5 minutes, your Swiss chard should be nicely steamed. Now we can reduce the heat to low and just mix through once, so you have kind of some all over your pan evenly. And then we just want to make these two wells. So I'm gonna make here one and another one on the other side. So I want to take the eggs and break an egg into each well. Then we also need our herbs right away. So just gonna sprinkle some over the top. I did chop quite a bit, so you probably just need about 1 stalk of each. So I'm gonna leave some aside. I'm not gonna add all of it on top. And then we just want to cover it again, and you want to cook the eggs until you're happy. So I like mine a little bit still kind of shaky, but if you want to cook them through completely, you can also do that. So just allow it to cook on low heat until you're happy with the structure of the eggs. So this is a really simple recipe using that beautiful Swiss chard, and I must say I ate it almost every morning last summer because I really loved it. I think it's a great way to use up that Swiss chard, and also I really love that kind of breakfast recipes. So I really hope you will also enjoy this recipe, and I hope you will like the way I'm utilizing my Swiss chard. I will think of some other recipes for you, so there will be some more recipes using Swiss chard in the future because we still have some growing in the garden. So if you don't want to miss those and you're not subscribed yet, you should subscribe so you don't miss those recipes, and if you tap the bell you will get that notification when the recipe comes out. In my recipe I used a different one, so if you're wondering why these look a bit different, that's because I planted some with colorful stalks and then also this regular, which is just green. So it's the same plant, it just looks a little bit different. I hope you enjoyed this Swiss chard recipe, and I hope you will be making it. If you liked it, don't forget that thumbs up for support, so also know that you liked it. And if you're new to my channel, then you can subscribe right now, and if you tap the bell you won't miss any of the new videos. Thank you for watching my video. Bye bye until next time.